there are two schools of thought in the creation story. One is a young earth creation thought. That means that the earth, some believe that the earth was, the creation story happens in 6 24-hour day periods. But there is an old earth creationist theory, which that's the one I'm doing here, which I believe in because as having a scientific background, the science of creation seems to match that with the Genesis account, in my opinion. So regardless of whether you're young earth or old earth, it makes no difference really. I find that being old earth helps me to understand and helps me to explain to other people. Because in the modern era, many kids going to school doesn't believe in the evolution account, and they reject the young earth theory really and become skeptics. So I believe in the old earth Genesis account. So in analyzing the structure and grammar of Genesis 1:1 and Genesis 1:2, the text proclaims that the creation of the universe and the formation of earth must predate the events described in the 6 creation days by an unspecified but finite duration of time. This is all from the Bible. It's not from anywhere else. And I will go into detail to explain the length of each creation days in later postings. Because as I've said earlier, that the text is in biblical Hebrew, ancient Hebrew, so to speak. And one has to read it that way and understand even a little bit of the Hebrew text. The words use bara, which means creation out of nothing, ex nihilo, and esa. Other places, it does not say bara, esa, fashion, he made. That means he used things that has already been created for the purpose of making other things. Thus, Genesis 1:1 declares that the universe had a beginning and its creation is a completed event. So now it sets the stage. God created the universe and the earth, and there is a long period of time between when his attention turns to the earth. There's an unspecified but definite finite duration of time between Genesis 1:1 and Genesis 1:2. So Genesis 1:1, when the universe was created, it was a completed event. It was ready now. So God turned in Genesis 1:2 his attention now to the earth. And the earth, it says there, existed in a formless and empty state. That is, the universe and earth already are in place before the events of the 6 creation days. The completed nature of the creation of the universe and the formation of the primordial earth implies that an unspecified duration of time transpired between the creation of the universe and the formation of the earth. Not only did water cover the surface of the earth, the atmosphere over the earth is heavy and dense, and therefore doesn't allow for intelligent life forms like you and I. So why the creation, 6-day creation story, which I believe is long, because you now need to transform primordial earth, which, if you remember the previous post, that is just a round spherical body of earth crust surrounded by oceans. It's a water world and surrounded by an atmosphere. And none of this primordial earth can sustain any life form. It's got to be changed. And it took billions of years to change this. It took billions of years of scientific change and volcanic activity and whatever needs to be done to transform that primitive primordial state to what we have today. Astronomers estimate that Earth's primordial atmosphere was at least 200 times more massive than our current atmosphere. So light from the sun or stars and other heavenly objects would have been unable to penetrate to the early Earth's surface. No life supporting landmass would have existed on early Earth either. Initially, all the land in the Earth's rocky crust lay below the surface of the deep. And various Bible passages tells of that in Psalms, in Job, that the earth was covered, God clothed it with clouds of sea. Islands and continents arose gradually as a result of volcanism or volcanic activity. Volcanism and plate tectonics movements and collisions of large crustal sections inside the earth drives primarily by heat generated the wrinkling of the earth's surface. This wrinkling, which eventually pushed land upward above the earth's surface, continues to this day, but at a much slower rate. Tectonics and volcanic activity superseded erosion until land masses rose up above the oceans to cover about 29% of Earth's surfaces. Again, Genesis 1:2 says, water did initially cover all the Earth's crust. Light could not penetrate the opaque atmosphere. Without light on Earth's surface, photosynthesis could not occur. With large pieces of interplanetary debris crashing onto Earth's surface at that time, no surface life could have survived. The description of these conditions set the stage for the Genesis 1:3-2 account, the days of creation, as God prepares a habitat for humanity. Each day describes a major transformative event, an essential step closer to the final event of day 6. People may bemoan the lack of any specific mention of dinosaurs or the various species of human-like bipedal primates or hominids. Why did they not make the cut in the Bible? Neither the dinosaurs nor the hominids had any direct connection with Adam and Eve and their progeny. So the lack of mention makes no significant difference to the story's development. Again, the Bible was written for all people and for all times. Besides, it was very recent in the story that we discovered dinosaurs and hominids' presence on this earth, and it changes nothing. So day 1, what happens? Light comes through. Light's appearance takes center stage on first creation day. The Hebrew verb used in the opening statement for the day, let there be light. The Hebrew verb is haya. And this, remember in the previous post, we said bara. Bara means create something out of nothing, ex nihilo. So it's only used 3 times in the Genesis creation account. In other places, other verbs are used like haya. Haya means to exist, to be, to happen. So let there be, let haya be light. That means light is already there. The sun, the stars have already been created. Now it's got to move things around, lighten the density of Earth's atmosphere to allow light to come through. Here, bara is not used, but haya. Really, Earth's initial dark atmosphere is so thick that on day 1, things has got to change so light can penetrate through Earth's dark shroud for the first time. Some of the debris that had previously kept light from coming through is cleared away, and Earth's atmosphere changed from opaque to translucent, but not transparent. We have a transparent atmosphere today so that we can see through it. So we have to see that from this dense, 200 times more denser than what we have today, has got to be changed by various things. That even in my primordial Earth, as the other planets are being formed with its rotation, we don't know how fast it is really. There is spatial debris that crashes onto Earth, causing the surface of the Earth to wrinkle. If you look at Earth's surface today, it's not smooth. There's wrinkling. There's mountains, there's valleys, there's all kinds of things. And that's what happens. And not just that, the atmosphere has to be blasted through to make it, from now, it's gone from opaque, letting no light through, to translucent, letting light through, but not transparent yet. What we have, through time, the planetary debris that piled up over Earth's surface is cleared away by gravity, and Earth's atmosphere is changed. With sunlight now penetrating Earth's atmosphere, the day and night cycle become detectable. On Earth's surface, light had existed, and Earth had been rotating since its beginning. Day and night now become distinctly discernible. With Earth's surface now bathed in light, photosynthesis could take off, and the Earth's atmosphere becomes thinner, changing from opaque to translucent, to eventually transparent as what we have today. Photosynthetic life began to transform large quantities of water and carbon dioxide into food, like sugars, starches, and fats. And such food could then support a complex ecosystem. This scenario finds its corroboration in Psalm 104. The psalmist describes God's meticulous and relentless work in building up a great abundance and diversity of life, not just abundant life on earth, but a diversity too on earth in preparation for human beings. The crowning glory of creation is intelligent life forms like you and I. But we cannot just be placed on primordial earth to survive and thrive. Things have got to change, and it took time. And scientists has calculated the time, the age of the universe, the age of Earth. Why did this have to happen? Because of the necessary chemical and physical changes that must have happened first. And we will continue next posting for day 2 of creation.